Good evening, everyone. My name is Garnet Texas, or you may call me Garnet if you want. Thanks for hanging tight with us for a while there. We had some technical difficulties with the restream for one of our runners, but we got it solved, and Kuchiri even got a nugget power-up after much deliberation. That's what I'm saying. How are you supposed to race without nuggies? And we're off. Final sword, ninja armor, Medusa head. We've got some pretty nice things in the shop, but they're kind of expensive, or at least the final sword is. Looks like we'll probably just have to make away with samurai armor for now. But final sword so early on, we may see a repeat of some of Saturn Spade's strats. And just getting a quick resync here of the runners. Our red soul to start off is Siren. Not the greatest. It's pretty unreliable, but it can at least poke through walls and stuff and hit some canisters that you normally can't reach. And we get to hear Soma sing. Neither runner checking the first entrance on the left. That's alright. La la la. And Creaking Skull down for Kuchiri, along with the Basilisk Git here. Now this is a round one loser's side on the bracket. For those that are interested, Spearboard was seeded 10th and Kuchiri was seeded 20th. Oh, it was completely random, okay. I couldn't remember if it was random or not. I appreciate Spearboard going straight for the fists option. Shoutouts for Grapes. Spearboard going straight back to the shop. Hopefully he has enough to sell in order to afford the final sword. Oh, it looks like he can just barely. Yep, there he goes. I kind of like that, honestly. Especially now knowing what Kuchiri is picking up, even though Spirit Board's probably going to come back for these pickups either as well. Devil from a skeleton. Now that is something really nice. We've seen a lot of drops from monsters so far. From the bat, the crow, and the skeleton. Oh, Kuchiri, you can get that. Okay, cool. He's going back. I was a little worried. And Galamoth. That's always really nice to see early. You don't have to be concerned once you enter the quarters. And these jumps down here are kind of tight. You can make them without Malphus, but they aren't always the easiest. Yeah, and Spirit Board just electing not to pick up any of these weapons that don't even resemble a Final Sword. And Kuchiri equipping the Bastler for the time being. Now the Final Sword is kind of awkward to handle as a heavier weapon. You know, there's landing lag and you can't just land with the weapon in order to cancel all of the end lag on the weapon. And we have Gardens at the very end of the corridor. Unfortunately, this check here with the waterfall is out of reach for now. And we see a soft reset. You could still go up the platforms to the left and see the other exit and get the 5 checks on the in the confusing rooms or whatever. So it does leave me wondering what Kuchiri has on his mind. I think we got everywhere within the corridor already. Oh, that's right, our runners did not check the left entrance at the reservoir. And a red crow soul from an imp. We are seeing a lot of random drop souls. Let everyone know that although it is Mother's Day, it is also Skeleton Appreciation Day. You must run into every skeleton. And top floor at the vanilla reservoir, or at the reservoir entrance for the corridor. That's always nice to see. Which leads us back into the corridor. So at least we have the information now. That top floor is there. I'm going to make a note of that as well. So that means our progression has to be in the gardens. And it looks like Spirit Board is making a similar play here, not completing or going through the gardens just yet. He wants to go see what the other entrance is. And those imps are so mean. They will knock you down. You have to restart the whole room and wait for the platform cycle. Alright, but we have 5 checks here in the garden. It can be a little tricky to get, at least the later ones. And there's Malphus on the very first one. And the very necessary flying armor. Malphus does open up the, what would you call that? The fountain check in the gardens? No, go see what it is. Go back, please. No horse hugs today. That's all right. Welcome again, everyone. This is the Aria Randomizer Tournament 2022, of course. We had some technical difficulties with scheduling this first match earlier, but now we've gotten them resolved. Okay, so Malphus, Gravekeeper, and Flying Armor here in the garden. Okay, very good roundabout. Ah, so then you could get that fountain check by looping around. So I wasn't aware of that. I've always had Malphus when I got here. I'm still fairly new to Aria Sorrow as it is, and the randomizer just adds so many layers. So it's really fun to watch these runs to learn a lot myself as well. And I'm privileged to get to commentate for them as well. Alright, Spiritboard is making his round back to the garden. He will soon pick up Malphus and all the other goodies that lie here. And while we're waiting on these platforms, I'd like to also shout out the Aria Sorrow Discord and just community in general. Real nice folks. I met them from extension of the Circle of the Moon community, and everyone's super great. I want to shout everyone out there. Kuchiri's been nice, Spiritboard's been nice. I don't think I would have been so inclined to enter the randomizer tournament on a whim, let alone if I wasn't so welcomed by everyone. Okay, so the dance hall, this is the entrance where, yes, you can, with Kicker Skeleton, you can reach the top secret wall there. However, without slide, we can't make it any further. And Kuchiri double checking his gray souls to verify whether he can progress or not. It's a pretty smart thing to do, especially if you're not tracking your items yourself. I actually, when I do runs, it's very hard for me to track, so I understand it could be for other runners as well. Alright, now with Malphus, we can go through much more of the corridor. There are at least 2 more entrances that open up here, as well as some other just goodies to find. And don't forget that it's Skeleton Appreciation Day. Kuchiri going good on that. Spiritboard with the soft reset out of the garden. I wasn't entirely sure what all he had gotten already. Looks like he's going back to... yeah, okay, so he just reset back to his save. Oh, they died. Well, I mean, that's not too harmful. He just needs to pick up Malphus and get his way out of there. I'm feeling an early Skoola here. There have been a lot of times I found early Skoola, or just Skoola at the entrance. That's just a random prediction from me. What kind of predictions do y'all have for this first Skoola location? Oh, a red book. Very nice. Let's see. Mudman from Killer Doll. Now, the Mudman soul isn't super useful. And killer dolls aren't the easiest to kill unless you have some pretty good elemental items. Army jacket at the entrance, very nice. Spirit board is also going to... Oh no, he's not going to get the item up there. Not a problem. No save. Let's see what the Rippers have to feel about that. Have to say about that. Okay, no problem. He had a safe exit. I would say it's generally safer to try to go through the center of those like warp rooms in the garden rather than going on the bottom route. But as long as you don't get hit, I guess it doesn't really matter. And we have Clock Tower. We're coming in from the top right entrance, which will take some time to get to any of the checks. Plus, without Skula, there's only so far we can go. There's a breakable wall here, very nice. Oh, and a hunting. That'll help moving around a lot. It's a much more convenient weapon to use in most situations, even though it's quite a bit weaker than the final sword. Now the clock tower is rather hard to move around in with good precision. An elephant robe, now that's a very nice find. Ooh, the lightning dolls. I always get so scared being trapped in that corner with him. Especially if you get stoned. Kuchiri making it out by the skin of his teeth. He's back in the corner. Oh no. Does he have any healing? I hope he heals if he does. He's pretty confident though. Are we gonna kill the Great Armor to reach the save? Great Armor is pretty easy to fight. You just need to crouch there, as you can tell. Spirit board making his way up to the clock tower himself. And we will soon see the boss here. Please, no Legion. While it's not too unfeasible to do with Final Sword and Backdash, nobody wants to see it. Valor? Okay. Kuchiri's gonna go for it. Valor is generally viewed as a much simpler boss to fight, easier to react to, and especially with as strong a sword as the final sword, it should be simple enough. The general strategy here is to stay within the center. You can use the bridge of his nose as kind of a visual cue. And when Balor's hands pull back, you can duck. Or to react to, when Balor's hands pull back, that's when you can react to whatever attack he's going to do. You can duck when his fists come inward from the outside. And when he raises his fists up, you have to move left or right to get out of the way. Kuchiri taking a death to Balor, but he's going right back in, not phased by it at all. And Spirit Board killing some lightning dolls, getting trapped in some spikes up there. It can be really challenging to navigate the clock tower on those gears, even with Black Panther. And the Valkyries are giving Spirit Board a lot of trouble right now. Kuchiri using some healing items here on the Balor fight. Wants to keep it as safe as he can. Valor's fists are kind of desynced now. It's kind of hard to deal with sometimes. His final phase, Valor will begin to shoot lasers out from his right eye, and they will cause flames to erupt from the ground. And that the pacing of the firing speeds up as you deal more damage. Oh no, another death. Kuchiri was close, but I think he'll get him this time if he chooses to go. Valor is really valuable to fight, even if it's early on, and you may not have the best weapon, because he gives a lot of experience. So it's not uncommon, even in the face of 2, maybe 3 deaths, to try and fight Valor again. And Simu also pointing out that this may be required anyway because we have some pretty restrictive entrances that we've seen so far. We didn't see the exit to the clock tower yet, however, you know, there's a chance that it could be something that we couldn't reach yet. Spiritboard is making his way up to the Valor fight himself. He's going to check the entrance first, though. Come on, Kuchiri, I believe in you. Oh, good dodge. Oh no. Okay, we've got a sync. This is exciting. Oh man, Spiritboard resets. Yeah, he's gonna go on about this fight later, it looks like. No shame in that. We have the inner quarter, so there's at least one more exit that we can see on this side. Coming from the right side is a little tricky if you want to explore more of the quarters though, because in order to reach the left side you have to fight the boss and there's no save point to negotiate with. I like the choice of Kuchiri switching to the hunting. That gives him a lot more freedom of movement. Yeah, this is working out very well for him. Okay, we've got one hit. The grapes are going to keep him within 2 hits. Okay, this is good. Chapel on the Spiritboard side. We're not going further into the quarters. That's alright. There's a lot to be seen in the chapel. Plus, there's a warp here. Very well done. Kuchiri managed to take down Valor. Teabagging for appreciation. That fight was very hard fought. There's Skula! Oh my gosh! That could be amazing. There are 2 locations for the School of Soul in this randomizer. That just happens to be the first one. There could be one at any other spot in this game. Okay, we've got Undyne. I was a little worried there for a second. But School is big. It lets you go through the entirety of the reservoir, pretty much, except for the waterfall room. And without flight, that is. And then you can also get one more entrance check at the corridor. And you can also check a few more things within the clock tower. Spirit board is warping back to the corridor, to the entrance. And Kuchiri is negotiating the chapel. Ooh, Golem from the Ghost Dancer. That's a nice upgrade. Manticore goes down with 3 hits. That's a beautiful sight. If you're unaware, here in the Manticore boss fight room, if you don't enter another room, no other monsters will spawn. So that's one way to get that item up there without having the gargoyles or the Ghost Dancers interrupt you. Or wait. Did the Ghost Dancers spawn in that room? At the very least. Okay, cool. I wasn't lying. Spirit board decided to go back to the quarters, but Kuchiri is deciding to continue through the chapel. I always love a difference in routing here. Okay, Spirit board is warping back out of the quarters. The chapel's a pretty small area. Pretty much all of the checks are densely packed within the same rooms. Or at least on the way to the exit. You don't really have to branch out much at all. A ninja suit out in the wild that we could have gotten from the shop. Some rotten meat and a potion. I always love picking up the potions. And a delicious cream puff. I'm sure that will come in handy later, especially since Kuchiri spent a lot of his food on the Blore fight. And we're coming out of the cemetery entrance into the reservoir. There's that breakable wall there that I'm quite familiar with now. And Kuchiri's going to make his way up. There's another entrance directly to the left here that will be very nice to look at. Spirit board getting skyfish from a random drop. That's very nice. Black Panther is so useful, especially here in the reservoir. You can just break the needles without any effort. Or really needing to think. Alright, and we're at the dance hall with a more accessible entrance. Alright, so the quarters boss fight is not too scary. We have death here, but it can still pose a challenge. Death is nothing to laugh at. Spirit board does have the Devil's Soul that he hasn't used, and it does work really well against this fight too. Going all that way into the dance hall just for a scarf. Oh man, that's too bad. Those little holes that you're supposed to fall through are really hard to just fall down into if you hold down R for Black Panther. They can be kind of challenging even without Black Panther. Oh, Spirit board. Oh, we have Legion at the bottom of Dance Hall. And Kuchiri hasn't done the reset yet. So I think he's confident that he'll be able to take down Kuchiri. I mean, he took down Balor, you know, what's another big boss to him? Final Sword does work incredibly well here. He has Golem, Gladiator, okay, Alistor, and Gorgon equipped. Wow, I've actually never used the Alistor Soul. That looks really good. Spirit board rallying back into the quarters. I think he wants his revenge on death. Ah, there's Kuchiri using the backdash. I mentioned earlier that the final sword can be a little awkward to use because you can't just cancel the ending lag by landing with it while you're in the air. However, you can cancel the ending lag by backdashing. And if you were to jump out of that backdash, it pretty much cancels all of the momentum entirely. And only after one revolution, Kuchiri pretty much has this fight in the bag. Very well done. Okay, that was really fast actually. I'm surprised. I mean, Final Sword is incredibly beefy, but man. And nothing really fantastic as a reward. Legion does also give a lot of experience as well. Valor and Legion are very valuable to fight if you want levels. And Spirit Board resetting out of death as well, again. So Kuchiri's got a lot of momentum now after fighting Belor. He has a lot of access to places he can just kind of run through and respond to whatever he finds. There's a breakable wall here. A rare ring, very unfortunate. And we're getting another shot at the death fight from Spirit Board. Succubus, that's always a welcome sight. It doesn't inherently increase your power, but it makes your survivability just so much more. Now, what I mentioned about the chapel not having a lot of branching paths, or you don't really have to branch away from the exit to get any items. The corridor actually has a handful of rooms that lead to absolutely nothing. They are just empty rooms. Where will Kuchiri go? Alright, he's back at the chapel. Oh, Kunutsuna. It's a multi-hitting katana. Really good weapon. No, 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 you hate to see it. Oh man. The hitboxes of those discs persist even after the disc armor has been defeated, and that can be really just unfortunate. Alright, well, Kuchiri and Spirit Board are hot on each other's heels. Kuchiri will now face death. And Spirit Board, I wonder if he'll continue, if he'll go back into the top of the castle there. Or if he'll just try to fight death again. Oh, those hits are so nice. And with Succubus, he really doesn't have to worry nearly as much. Okay, Spirit Board's going back up. Now you can jump over the disc armors with Malphus. Not the easiest timing in the world, but it's not the hardest either. Here's a fun little tidbit. If you're in the death fight and you don't have Malphus, you can dodge the scythe that revolves around the floor and the ceiling by going to one of the entrances, jumping on the little, I don't know, platform there, and then you can jump over the scythe as it comes towards you. Oh, we've got a book, the yellow book. Levitain, that's a really helpful item too. That'll help moving around. White Dragon is our soul for the yellow book. And I believe we already have that. Yeah. This breakable wall has 2 secrets within it. There's one to the right here. And there's Hippogriff. Very nice. Spirit Board is playing it pretty risky, fighting death right here. But there's not a lot else he can do at this point. Black Panther is actually super useful in this fight because it can take out the sickles that spawn. Come on, Spirit Board, I believe. You've got this. 2 health, that doesn't mean anything. Now, if he were to eat that spoiled milk, he'd go down to 1. Not that it would change much for this, but... yeah. Oh, man. No, man. Spirit Board is having such a hard time with death, and it's so hard to watch. I mean... I'm sorry, I'm not trying to be negative here. It's just, dang, that sucks. That really sucks. I know he can do it. He's got it this time. And the cemetery on Kuchiri's side has the giant golem, which was no match for the final sword. Okay, we're going someplace else with Spirit Board. He did pick up Undyne, so he can get this entrance here. I wonder where this will lead. Oh wait, I know where this leads. What am I saying? Ah, there's another Skula. Okay, so you didn't have to fight Belor for Skula. Although it would have netted you much sooner, Skula. This will at least give Spirit Board a save to fight death if he chooses to go back there. Because the Skula entrance from Corridor led back into the quarters, and on the left side is where you can save before you go into the boss fight. I think Spirit Board will be happy to find the giant golem here. Alright, Kuchiri gets his Devil Soul, no problem. And he gets a repeat even. This Ripper Room can be extremely dangerous with how Aria of Sorrow's iframes work, or don't work for that matter. And with the Hippogriff, Kuchiri decides to explore the top 4. Picks up the Calibul, which would be really nice for the Julius fight. Even if our runners decide not to use the final sword, they have a lot of options at their disposal here. Levitain is a very competent weapon for the end game, and then they have Calibul as well. And there's Spirit Board Skula. I'm sure he's relieved to find it somewhere, and relieved that he doesn't exactly have to fight death, unless he were to want the soul. Kuchiri is making quick work of the top floor here, Mandragora, near the top here. Just a few more checks here, and then there's an entrance to the bottom right of the save. We'll parse that. And just for good measure, they also put a breakable wall. And here we find the mistletoe. Yo, nice dodge for the red minotaur. There we go. Spirit board picks up his hippogriff. Will he also go to the top floor, or the combination of hippogriff and Skulo? Maybe that will, when he does find the reservoir, maybe he'll push further in there. Alright, we're getting the updated shop on Kuchiri's side. Death and Headhunter increase the shop's items for sale. Stole it in the shop? Who is it? Someone called that in the chat. Well done. I have to commend Spirit Board and Kuchiri for continuing the races as they are. Kuchiri dying to Balor as many times as he did, and Spirit Board also dying to death as many times as he did. It can be extremely hard to rally back from those events. From any skill of runner, it's always impressive to see someone dedicated enough to continue the race even after a pretty devastating blow like that. I mean, several devastating blows even. Is Kuchiri gonna gamble on the blue soul? We only have 2 books, don't we? Okay, no, he thought he was going to the exit. Just not quite so familiar with the map is all. I approve his decision to go back for the shop before he goes much further, though. I always like just checking the shop periodically. Oh no, Kuchiri doesn't have slide. Even still, even at this point, he can't make it into the study from that side. He would need either slide or giant bat. Antal had the red book. At least if I'm remembering correctly. No, another death by Spirit Board. Death isn't an easy fight, although maybe he would have an easier time with a different weapon. Oh, nice double jump to avoid the pit there on Kuchiri's side. Now, I brought up that Spirit Board had the Devil Soul, and Punk Rhythm in the chat also has. But I think he might, like, Spirit Board might have forgotten that he has it since he got it so early. And from a skeleton, like, I have an easier time personally remembering souls that I get from canisters than I do from random monsters. And also a very convenient place for the slide soul right before you need to use it. Kuchiri finds the Curly Soul. It's the weaker of the two Rush Souls that he has right now, but always welcome to see. Oh, negotiating these areas is also really tricky. It's so easy to get kind of greedy and use Hippogriff to want to fly up when these platforms go to the left. Kuchiri makes it through. Algorithm points out that it's easy to forget a lot of the screens here in the clock tower, and I have to agree with him because they're also laid out differently. It's how do I describe this? I feel like the clock tower just has so much variety, even though there's only like spikes and platforms. Oh, and we have the arena. Okay, that makes sense. From what I understand, this is a pretty high complexity area, and there's a pretty good chance that one of the books would be here because of that. Or at least, you know, what a progression would be, and in this case, it would be one of the books. And Speedboard does fell death after much effort. I'm very proud of him. That was challenging. Ooh, a black belt. I was excited to see the black belt. Kuchiri, however, must not have been. And I know he's not happy. I'm not happy to see that map as well. Nobody is. Alright, we've got 3 trials here. In this one, with Black Panther, you can just hold right and run to the right. Or hold R and run to the right. No, we haven't seen the waterfall. We've hardly seen any of the reservoir. We got the cemetery entrance when we did see it. And Kuchiri immediately went up to the left entrance as well. We have the worst room in the game on Kuchiri's side. This has killed many a run and many a randomizer, but also tends to have a really good item. Just Gravekeeper this time. Spiritboard's cleaning up the rest of the chapel now. He's going to exit to the left, I imagine. And we have the very difficult DDR room on Kuchiri's side. The very last input commands here is up, right, down, left. It's the same every time. And ramen. We'll take that. Headhunter doesn't really stand a chance. Nightmare is a very nice red soul to have. I think it's the best one. It could be, well, The best one that you can use without too much MP. The fire element in this game works wonders. Alright, so after cleaning out the arena with Kuchiri on his side, after cleaning out the arena on Kuchiri's side, I think... Oh no, he hasn't gotten this last one. Well, barring the book being here... There it is. Wait, have we only seen the red book? Yeah, that's a duplicate. We need the blue one. He does have the red minotaur, which means death was required. So, props to Spirit Board for sticking through, keeping at it against death, because he's going to need it. And it looks like the only thing we have left to look through is the reservoir. Now the reservoir entrance is definitely fresh on Spirit Board's mind. He just visited that place. But Kuchiri, on the other hand... I wonder what he's thinking. Oh, he has slide now. He can go through. He can go through the study now. Just a Mach punch. Man, some of these checks, it's like... You'd think there'd be something nice. Wait a second, didn't we already see this guy? Oh wait, no, I'm thinking of the clock tower. I have definitely played this game before. Surely. Kuchiri didn't get cursed! His Black Panther is so strong! I guess that's what killing Balor and Legion will do. Ah, Mudman, there's our... Red soul? Wait. No, that's not the red soul. It's Red Minotaur. Spirit Board found Legion! Soon his Black Panther will be strong enough to also defeat the Legions. Oh wait, he didn't fight Balor, so maybe not. And circling back to the corridor here, man, that's... Yeah, it looks like there's nothing left to really look through except for the reservoir. I know we haven't seen the forbidden area yet. I can't recall what's on the other side of the garden here. But we've seen so little. We've seen so little of the reservoir. Oh. Ran through the dance hall to warp to the entrance. I wonder if that was faster. It probably was. Well, we have another shop check here. Headhunter also increases the shop's capacity. But it looks like it didn't do much good. Spirit Board taking another revolution on the Legion fight. He didn't have quite as many levels as Kuchiri did when he fought it. Or maybe they're about even. I don't recall. Sorry. I thought I knew. I don't know if Spirit Board has much healing either. Probably not if he's choosing to go all the way around. And we see the waterfall as well as a rune ring here. That's always nice. Spirit Board breaking the shell apart now. He's almost finished with the fight. Wait, they got the claim? I looked away! Oh, it's an Eastern! That's beautiful. Now, I would go and get that, even if I were to find the blue book right now. I would go to the eastern part of the reservoir to pick up the claim. The claim is so good. Spirit Board is taking his time with the Legion fight, and, you know, who's to blame him? It's looking a little tough, though. Yes, both our runners have the final sword. It's definitely good enough to defeat Graham and Chaos and all that. Both of our runners also have the Calibolg and Levitate. Oh, there's a check there, go back. Spirit Board closing in on the final final stretch of this Legion fight. Another map on Kuchiri's side. Can I get some doot-doots in the chat for the Triton? Ooh, we get to see Tsuchinoko. Oh, nice. And one more breakable wall for cream soda. Alright, raise your hand if you like cream soda. I love it. And we get the claim. I know Kuchiri is super happy for that. 251 damage. That's a duplicate yellow book. Oh man, so unfortunate. I think this entrance can only be the forbidden area. Yeah. unfortunate for Kuchiri to find it that way. Those bones just die. It's so satisfying. Not gonna lie, I feel relieved now that Kuchiri has the claim. Okay, a blue soul. Giant bat at the slide or the reservoir. Spiritboard's going back to fight Belor. Oh, very interesting. I'm a little surprised he's coming back to Spiritboard's coming back to fight Belor instead of trying other places out first. But, you know, I'm not the one running the scene. I get to watch both sides. I know everything. Okay, this should be the other side of the forbidden area. No, algorithm, we're still looking for the blue book. Oh, they did pick up the giant bat, or Kuchiri did pick up that giant bat. I don't recall if Spiritboard has slide yet or not. So, if we've played Aria before, and our runners definitely have, you might be wondering why we're so interested in finding the blue book. Shouldn't we know what the souls are to beat the game? Well, also, with a bunch of items randomized, as well as there's our blue book, let's see what it is really quick. Big Golem, definitely have that. Yeah. So, the souls required for the Grand Fight are also randomized. And the books tell you which souls those are. Normally in the original game, just like in this randomizer here, you pick up a red, blue, and yellow book. And those detail which souls you need to have equipped while fighting the grand boss on the top floor. If you fail to equip the correct souls, which in the normal game is Flame Demon, Giant Bat, and Succubus, then you'll receive the bad ending. If you have the correct souls equipped, then you'll proceed to another ending, which will lead you to fight Julius. He's a vampire hunter. And you'll also go into the Chaotic Realm to get the best ending. For the race of this randomizer, we are aiming for the true ending to beat Chaos. Spiritboard is having quite a lot of trouble against Belor. He's doing a lot of damage to him. Alright, so to pick up where I left off on the note of the books and the souls, Kuchiri had finally found the blue book, so he now knows what all 3 souls that he needs equipped during this fight in order to progress to the true ending. I think it was Red Minotaur, we had giant golem. And we also had white dragon. I believe those were the souls. Spiritboard making it out of the Belor fight. Very well done. And he will be rewarded with his second Skula soul. Oh yes, so the guys in chat also pointed out there's another ending within Aria Sara, and that's if you were to die to the Chaos fight. That's where Julius greets you here in this throne room. Kuchiri is using his Curly Rush Soul in order to deal extra damage when it's particularly harder. When it's particularly harder to swing a sword otherwise. Okay, so the red soul was Mudman. I think it was the... I can't remember who it was that dropped that soul. I might have gotten it mixed up. No problem. But with that, after defeating Graham, Kuchiri can make his way down to the garden, which was at the end of the corridor, at least for the garden's entrance. And then, where was the other one? I wonder. I don't recall. Anyways, we'll see Kuchiri go to the garden, and he will go to fight Julius. I made a note of the top floor entrances, but not the garden entrances. I'm a little sad. One last trip to the shop. It's always a good idea to stock up on food, even with exceptional armor and weapons, because these last 3 fights are pretty hard. They're definitely the hardest fights in the game. Julius in particular is a very challenging fight that requires some pretty good spacing. Spiritboard does find himself in the arena. He can find a lot of items here, although unfortunately not much useful here. Okay, going into the Julius fight, Kuchiri will not be able to use the claim because he resists Holy, but he does have the final sword, he has the Khalid Bowl, he could even use Levitain if he wanted to. There's a lot of little intricacies about the Julius fight that could speed it up if you were to try and manipulate it as well as you could. One little thing to note in particular is Julius will be staggered and have some invincibility after you were to hit him 4 times with a weapon. But if he does the backdash as we're seeing here, that counter resets back to 0. So what a lot of players will do with a quick weapon would be to, when Julius were to whip, they would crouch underneath the whip and hit him enough times to stagger him, and then proceed to use a rush soul. Kuchiri got a double backdash there, that was kind of awesome. Spiritboard enjoying the DDR room at this current time. some very different gameplay on both sides of the screens here. Oh no, Speedboard didn't finish the DDR room. He must have messed up at some point. In the second phase for Julius, he'll gain the power of sub-weapons, and that little note I mentioned about the staggering after 4 hits no longer applies. Very well done by Kuchiri. Julius is down and we're set to chaos. We've got a high five in the save room. They're obviously not in the same ones, but you know, similar looking screens. There are 3 checks in the chaotic realm. It's always nice to at least see what they are on your way. And the speedboard is still looking for his blue buck. Speedboard is also getting tossed around in the worst room here. Oh, and he gets a death. Dang. That room is certainly very dangerous. And a map in the chaotic realm. I think at that point you wouldn't need it anymore. It is really hard to make it through this room with the conveyor belt and the spikes, even with really good reaction times. Sometimes the Medusa heads are just set up to take you out. Alright, we have first chaos fight on Kuchiri's side. Let's see how he handles it. With the claim, it's not very hard, honestly. The claim is a lot more... you can deal some really quick damage with the claim by jump canceling or lane canceling. And Spiritboard is noping out of the worst room only to get punched in the face by the were tiger. Oh no, everything's out to get Spiritboard today. Everything's out to get Spiritboard today. Neither runner picks up the black belt. That's a little funny. Alright, the second phase of chaos for Kuchiri, using his rush soul at the very start to take out one of the eyes very quickly. This part is... I mean, when you have a lot of healing, it's not nearly as scary, of course, but you seriously can't get comboed 0 to death if you don't... if you're not careful. Sometimes you can't even control it. I don't think either of our runners bought the slime soul, But there's a very interesting, albeit cursed strat with this slime that will be able to take out the top eyes very quickly. Getting some big heals off of the bone snake. And we have our victor. Kuchiri has won the race. He has defeated Chaos. Well done to Kuchiri. That was definitely not an easy seed. Let's see where Spirit Board is headed now. I don't think he's made it back to the reservoir yet. I wonder if he remembers where it's at. I mean, there's no telling what's going on in his mind. And I have Kuchiri coming into the chat here. Welcome, Kuchiri. Well done on your race. Yeah, that was hard.
Oh man, no, it was like, so you find flowing gardens early, but you don't have double jump, so you don't really want to do flowing gardens. So you decide to see what the other entrance was. Oh, too bad, that's a dead end as well. So you go back to flowing gardens, somewhere you should have been 5 minutes ago. Find double jump, and you're like, well, I'm just going to stare at this screen until it says "Dot John."
That's hilarious. Yeah, get it out, man. There was a lot going on. The deaths at the war, final sword being hard to use.
Well, I mean, it's not even just that. It's like, where was that blue book? Where was that blue book? Oh, hey, I found oh, wait, this is the bad ending, the bad entrance of Forbidden Area. I think I checked every single location.
Yeah, definitely. And the cemetery entrance was the only one you could really navigate to get to the other parts of the reservoir.
Yeah. And I forgot where that was, so, you know, I decided to try and find other ways back there. But, oh, man. Yeah, no.
How did you feel about finding the claim at the end there?
Oh, I was so excited to find the claim. I'd rather fight with the claim than the final sword, if I'm going to be completely honest, but I still think I had a very decent Julius fight with the final sword.
Yeah, you did really well with the Julius fight. You got your spacing down really well.
Something tells me we might not have the second race tonight. Oh... Has Valentine found? No, Valentine hasn't found the book. He's just trying to get the soul now, right?
Yeah, he hasn't been back to the reservoir since making that first like quick run through it.
Okay.
So Spirit Board did try to fight Balor, but exited out really quickly. Went back to the quarters and unfortunately took several deaths to death.
Every single practice against Balor, I tend to give it one go, then move on.
Yeah.
But I was like, okay, I can't do that here. I gotta kill him. I gotta get the levels. I have the final sword. This should be easy enough. And then it's like, you get to the second phase, and you can't slash because you have that extra second-long delay when you hit the ground. That's why I decided, after all my four tried to switch to a different sword. But, I mean... At that point, I already thought I lost. I'm going to be completely honest. I thought the game was over at that time.
So both of you actually made the same decision at the start to go to the. Both went to the floating gardens and then backed out. Went back
wow.
to the start. You also both went back to the shop early.
Well, yeah, the final sword being there.
So you were
of course.
both in similar standings near the beginning. Spirit Board then died in the final garden trying to get the fountain item, and that put him back some. But then you went to Belor and had some trouble there. Spirit Board left that earlier, went to the quarters, and both of you were fighting your own bosses that were giving you trouble at the time. You ended up beating Belor, got Skula, which wasn't really used for a minute, but when you did get to...
Well, I would have backtracked to the underwater part of the clock tower, but I don't want to do that unless I have Bat or I have Slide. Guess what was down there? Slide was down there.
Yeah, that was really convenient.
That's why I went back there later on. I mean, I've done 3 practice seeds today, and all 3 practice seeds has had the most garbage intro for a castle layout.
Oh man.
Yeah, I'm surprised. Like this was just a rough seed. So
Algorithm was saying that the nugget buff paid off. What do you think about that?
Did you tell everyone that I decided to gluttony real fast?
Oh, I didn't say anything. No. Wait. Yes, I did.
So after our first attempt at this failed, we were under the impression Spirit Board was completely blind, which you should be when you're running these races. You should be completely blind. No one should, you shouldn't be able to find any hints anywhere. And then I was thinking, okay, well, you know what, this guy's awesome. I'm going to just do something for the next hour, and we'll just do match 2, right? And so I ordered myself some food, and I loaded up another game. And then, like, 2 minutes into the game, oh, hey, I just noticed. Oh, well, this is awkward. I'm in a matchmade in the game now, waiting for food. Yeah.
Oh, that is pretty silly.
Anyway.
Well, it looks like Spirit Board won't be joining us for an interview. Not a problem, though. It's been a pleasure talking with you, Kuchiri. Any other thoughts you want to give about the run?
No, just everyone stay tuned. As you can tell, these races are quite out there. You never know where you're going to get with any of these races. I mean, this seed was probably one of the worst seeds of the tournament so far. And I feel like 75 minutes on it isn't too shabby.
No, definitely not.
Aside from that, no, thanks again for commentating. Thanks again for taking extra time than you thought you were going to, but...
Yeah, I had a lot of fun, and it was fun doing commentary, but it's fun watching y'all's runs. I'm enjoying... I mean, I'm new to the Aria stuff in general, and I'm enjoying getting to know more about it and the other players.
Yeah, and I mean... Like you're also gaining some insights. So, like, I know originally I started talking to you about a Circle of the Moon randomizer tournament.
Right.
And so, it'll be similar to those, stuff like that. But who knows, maybe that can still happen later this year. Gotta get some interest in it.
Yeah, hopefully. Not to drag on too much, but I wasn't in a position at the time to really promote a tournament or anything.
No, that's fine.
Doing better now. I've been dealing with an injury in my leg, so
thankfully
it's cleared up some, and that's allowed me to join the Aria tournament since it started when it did.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, no.
I'm enjoying it a ton, and I've had similar experiences as you, where the practice seeds were either really awful before or really good, and I wasn't prepared for my tournament seed as a result.
Again, I felt like after the first 10 minutes the seed went by and I was still level 3 and I just got my second progression, I'm like, yeah, I'm done.
I don't blame you.
Anyway, no, thanks again. Follow everyone, follow Garney, follow everyone that's in the chat now. I don't care, I'm gonna go to bed. Good night.
All right, enjoy your rest, Kuchiri. I think that'll wrap it up for us tonight. Thanks again for watching, everyone. Congratulations to both of our runners. We'll see the two of them again for match 2 at another day.
See you guys later.
Have a great night.